All right, you're live now.
All right. All praise be to Allah. I'm going live. I'm alive. Understand like I ain't. Just pays off these three blessed people. Assalamu alaikum. I was the black man, woman, and child in America tonight. I pray all is well. As we sit in the belly of the beast, if you're doing all right, you're all right tonight. Because you got to know where you sit in this universe. Dead in the middle of the belly of the beast. Assalamu alaikum, black people in America that elect 144,000. That's going to bring about a complete change sitting here in the belly of the beast. The old boy shouldn't have swallowed us up. But let me go into my prayer tonight. Brother Popkeys, Basheer Muhammad, Brother Captain. Got a new Instagram page I had set up tonight. Popkeys is Brother Captain. Is a way you can tap in if you like. But in the most holy name of Almighty God Allah, who came to us in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, the great Mahdi, who was to come and has come to restore we who were lost from our own kingdom of Islam and to destroy those who have destroyed us. God, our God, oh Allah, we are thy people. Deliver us from our murders, and we serve and obey thee all the days of our lives. And we teach our children to submit to thee, to that unequaled love and mercy for thou. And thanks to you, O Allah, for making manifest to us, our enemy. And thank you, Allah, for this day. And may we live the life, die the death of a Muslim. And I pray, Allah, that you bring all the calamities that you have at your disposal, all the forces of nature. Bring it down on the sinful, wicked, and the cursed beasts. Bring the confusion of the minds of the government of America. May these devils kill themselves on the highways, byways, and skyways of America and all over this planet. May they go to war and kill one another. May they die by all the diseases that they have formulated and brought onto this planet when they arrive. All praise is due unto Allah. Hurricane, snowstorm, windstorm, storm destroying locusts, killer bees, snakes, snow as high as the rooftops. Oh yes, Allah is here to destroy this beast. And I'm not even sorry to say, if this prayer helps it along, so shall it be. I'm riding with the Mahdi. You all ride with whom you please. But in the end, we shall see who is the victor. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum, black people in America tonight. As we sit here, as the devil done told us the new year came in, according to his calendar. But this is the time now for us black people to, when everything is kind of put back to sleep in nature. And it kind of reminds me of the black man and woman and child in America. We've been put to sleep. We've been hit in the head. We done dry bones sitting in the valley waiting on the wind to blow, to stir us. We waiting for the light of the sun to move us. We want to start making time. We dead men, women, and children walking. We ain't making no time at all. And now is the time of the rise of the black nation forever and ever. We're the Alpha and the Omega. Will there be an end? I don't think so, black people. This is the beginning of a new resurrection for the original people on this planet. And it's going to come from the dead. And those that lost everything, and those people that lost their mind, their culture, their history, their names, etc., etc. The same people that live in the beast life. Complete savages, majority of us. So keep living and watch what happens. When the mighty Allah God shows forth his power, the whole world is going to say, their God is God. And they're all going to submit. Take it. But let it alone. The Caucasian is not my teacher. Period. What we must learn to do is start throwing out everything that he has taught us. 99.9% of it is incorrect and wrong. As you all like to say, he put you in his matrix. Got you all mixed up. Don't know which way to go, left or right, up or down. In most cases, you see the confusion of the mind of the people, confusion of the mind of the government of America. You see the corruption in our universe all across the planet as it relates to the leadership. You see the pollution of our planet, our air, our water, the land, everything. You see the insects, the beasts that have been brought into existence through the mind of the rulership on our planet. Things were not like this before we brought in the light skinned black people. And I got to teach like this because this relates to the truth. And if you don't like it, tune out. For those that stay, will come into a whole nother understanding of how to regain this power and become this force and have control of our environment again, of our planet again. So we become the healers of our planet again. Become valuable resources for one another. For each one, teach one how to be upright. Because the ultimate goal is to get back on our peace. Because peace encompasses it all. When you have peace, you got love, you got freedom, you got justice, you got equity, equality, peace, love, and happiness, freedom, and justice, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. This is what the peace encompasses. You were created in peace, black people. But you are a special people in this day and time in America. A lot of us dead as hell. A lot of us put our own self in hell. A lot of us think that we can put ourselves in heaven. Heaven is a condition and a state of mind. But we think we can buy our way into heaven with things. I beg the difference. You buy your way to create a righteous heaven through your deeds and actions by doing good, by bringing balance back to the planet. And you know, one of the most dangerous things that are taking place in our presence is the use of technology by the Caucasian. You know, in the ancient times, our people knew how to use electricity, but they kept it balanced. Everything in nature must be balanced, like the pyramids. Those were also used as a form of power. You generate power instead of one to the other. They say the electricity we use is like that low-grade electricity, that static electricity you get from rub your feet on the wall, your clothes get that static. That's the lowest form of electricity that the Caucasians use. Those are beliefs that you see in pyramids placed around them. It's like a transformer that conducts electricity from our universe, atmosphere. No one knows where electricity came from, period. But it was there in the beginning. Matter, thought, and electricity. But our people knew how to balance it out. In this world, as you see, the Caucasians moving to this AI, this artificial, so-called intelligence, that people all in an uproar about how good it is, but nothing is greater than the mind of the original man. Nothing that this devil can make. No program or no data entry, none of that stuff will be able to replace the mind of the original man. But what it will do, it's going to help this Caucasian destroy himself much faster because there's no balance to it. You know, it's just like the human body was made to perform work and certain tasks, keep the body strong, sharp, keep the muscles toned. But now all you do is push a button. You see the weakening of the human family. You know, when we did labor work, it's necessary. You use all your extremities, all your muscles, get an exercise, you break a sweat. But the ancient people had technology as well. They had power tools and all of that. You understand what I'm saying? But we know how to balance it out as relates to the human beings on our planet. But that is something I just want to throw out there tonight. That's really not my subject at all. My subject tonight is the 24 deprogramming stages for us as Black people. How we can start to deprogram our minds away from the mindset of the Caucasian. How we can take our mind up out of the matrix that the white man has created himself to destroy himself with, because he's greedy, full of corruption, full of greed. You see that the public school system is taking in all of this poison information that is teaching our babies. Our children are coming here for a purpose. Our children are brought here to do a job. We lost all our ancient ways and customs. We don't even know how to communicate to the unborn. There's people in our society, but not in America, that knows how to communicate with the child that's in the womb of the mother before it's even born. We covered just a little bit of that tonight. How that child was able to speak as the mother goes into this deep trance. And this being or this person communicates with the child, and the child speaks through the mother, uses her voice. To communicate his purpose for coming to this planet, even though sometimes it might not be understood at that time. But it will come to be known, yes, or even related to soulmates, and all of these things. With this type of information, you don't get from the white man, but it's all these type of questions and things that are in your mind, things that we really want to relate to and know. I'll tap into a little bit of that tonight into my tidbits, and I'm not going to hold you long tonight at all. But what I do want to do a little bit tonight is, before we go into that, I want to go into the other rights. This is the man who made this all possible tonight. Through the Mahdi, Master Farad Muhammad. When you talk to Honorable Muhammad for over damn that 3.5 years, day and night, the man only had 5th grade education. And brought us all of this knowledge about the universe, about the mind, nature, the sun, the moon, about creation, everything. You put it out there. And what you see the Muslims doing, all we're really doing is going off the blueprint and the knowledge Muhammad gave us to focus on. We go deep, look behind the scenes, and go deeper into the teachings. We had to do our own research. And now it's our time now, Black people. And you better get with the time you're living in, because if you don't, well, you know the rest. You know, and pay attention to our children. Pay attention to all these things that's coming here. Highly, highly intelligent. Some of them just 2 weeks old, just looking around, looking at you, raising a little head. Ain't even made it 3-4 months down there talking. You got little babies, they 1 year old, yet sitting up with reading cards. 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 months reading, pronouncing words, flashcards. Don't you see what's coming out the womb for that Asiatic Black woman, Black people? Open your eyes up and pay attention. Let's take over time. Whether you agree with me or not. But if you got eyes that you can see what I'm saying. It's true. Only thing coming on this planet, they say, since 2010, out the womb of a Black woman, God. But the only problem we got is this. If you don't know, you don't know what you're producing. And you don't know how to teach it. You don't know how to make them the best of the best. You're not going to walk with them when they're old enough to understand. But while they're in the room, tell them who they are. Talking to them. We talk to our babies when they're in the room, sometimes they were kicked. let you know, well, I hear you. Understand what I'm saying? Loud and clear. You don't get that opportunity to pull your babies out the womb of the mother. Be the first one to touch them. Turn to the east. Give them back to Allah. Say that prayer. Understand what I'm trying to say? Makes a big difference when they grow up on this planet because they automatically come into their purpose. They automatically line up with a high vibration. They automatically come into a deeper understanding of what their purpose is on this planet and learn how to decipher truth from falsehood. Oh yeah. Take over time, black folks. But let me give you something from this little band, as they call it. Alhamdulillah, Muhammad, the Lamb of God. From Sanderville, Georgia. Rolled up at one of the worst times to be alive, where the black man could, the white man could openly murder you, hang you from a tree, take your body parts, have a picnic, as they say, pick a nigga. That's why I never use that word. Understand? Had their whole family out there like it's on the 4th of July. Having a good time, come from all over like they're going to a concert to see a show. Understand what I'm trying to tell you, black folks? Well, it's takeover time. But let me go into the messenger just a little bit. You said, you want to show how less we care about being anything. Just watch us grow when it's being taught that we are something. The least amount of people are there at that time. You're being taught the depth of wisdom of God himself and the beginning of creation and how he's about to destroy that which he made. Not what he created, listen now, but what he made. See, Allah did not create the light-skinned man. I got to call it out, tell it like it is. He's a made man. Understand? That's why he called himself mankind. He made it from us. We were already created. Think about this now. Human beings were used like cattle to change their breed. Cattle are bred from other cattle. Didn't he take it and breed it with one? Didn't he take it and breed it with another one? This is the way that people have been made into other people since the coming of Yaqub. I told Yaqub last week. We never had but one nation and one race. Listen, we didn't have a race as such. We had a nation. A race comes from the making of something from another. Listen, how do that understand it? We're learning all this wisdom and still walk the earth humbly. When you see a fool, you don't call him a fool. We know how he became a fool. That's why you have patience with your brother, empathy for your brother and sister when you see a dead man walk. Understand what I'm trying to tell you? We know how he became a fool. It is not his fault. I am very happy at times to go into great depths of the wisdom of God. If you have the patience to wait and read it, it's here. All you have to do is get it. There's so much that we need to know, but we get impatient before we ever learn what we should get. We get too impatient. You got to develop that patience. That's why patience is a virtue. It's a quality. It's an attribute. Everything happens in time and on time. Oh, yes. You are like your enemy. The devil was created in haste because the time was urgent on him. If Yaqub didn't hurry him, the other incoming God would be here before he could get started. Talking about the might be. So he went into haste to build a world, and he didn't lose no time. God himself told me that he didn't. He said, brother, This devil has not lost any time. He made good of the time that was given to him. And look what he has made. He even had but 4,000 to do with dirt. He had 6,000, but we kept in the caves and hillsides of Europe. Once we bought this butt across that hot desert sand out the land of the righteous, because he was a troublemaker, causing trouble. And we put soldiers on the borders so he couldn't come back in. And we stripped over everything, all the books and language and everything. He went down on all four. They didn't know how to cook his own food. All they could do was learn how to grunt. Taking a bath was unheard of in those European days up in the cave. His best friend became the dog. Not only to him, but it was too. You will like your enemy. The devil was created in hate because the time was urgent on him. If Yaqub didn't hurry, the other and coming God would be here before he could get started. So he went in haste to build a world, and he didn't lose no time. He said, brother, the devil has not lost any time. He made good of the time that's given to him. Look what he made. He made a whole new world. He has made himself powerful and a beautiful kingdom, a heaven for himself. Does he not live in heaven? Don't you see the devil living so good and you say, well, damn, why in the hell I got to die to get what he already got? You say it to yourself. You see the tribulation right in front of your face, but you don't know how to process it because your enemy told you you had to die and go to heaven to get what he got already. Streets paved with gold. Get your milk and honey. You got that at the house too. Understand what I'm saying? Gold chandeliers, gold all in the house, gold doorknobs and all this old type of stuff. You understand what I'm trying to tell you, black folks? Been tricked. He said, that's right, look at what we're doing here. Buying some of his world and worshiping it. We have to build us something for ourselves and others can worship it. Listen, architects are already in demand in a country where there's progress being made. You cannot build up a town or a city unless you have architects. You've got to have architects. We have good ones, but they are handicapped by the enemy. Enemy on all the material which architects design out for you. The building engineers have come and get the material to build what the architects have drawn out for him. He would have to buy it from the enemy, right? If the enemy gets angry with you, they will stop selling it to you. He's already angry with you and don't want you to go. But so far, when you're trying to equal him or overcome him, then he goes to work. All praise is due to Allah. We want to do, so to speak, what he has done. That is build towns, listen, and cities of our own liking over the country. We don't want his. We have lived in his. We have watched him build it, and we have now acquired a better knowledge than he. We can do a better job. What's hurting him is seeing the slave rise up from under his feet and erect a piece of a building and engines to work for himself. It hurts him. That's why you had Black Wall Street all across America destroyed and hurt him. We watched him build and we know how to build it and can now improve on it. That's what we are doing. Listen, the Muslims will be the rulers after the Christian world. We will rule the next world. We could have ruled it all a while, but we wanted to try out our own selves at being ruled by an inferior self. This was all the big experiment, black folk, because black man is science, woman by nature. We always experimented. So the God wanted to see what it would be like if we were ruled by another being in our universe. We didn't have to go through this process, but Allah wanted to manifest what's in us so we would know. So the whole universe would know what it was to be like, but even then to see which one is going to prevail. Like y'all people put it to the test. He said evil shall prevail over goodness. But the gods already know the outcome. That's why they allowed it to take place. So we will all come to know that goodness shall always prevail over evilness. So let me go home. The Muslim will be the ruler after the Christian world. We will rule the next world. We could have ruled it all the while, but we wanted to try out our own self as being ruled by an inferior self. We have learned that the inferior self will never make a world of peace. That is so true. And happiness for the people. You're not going to get that, black folks. I told you, quit looking for peace. Quit looking for all that love and happiness until we get him off the planet. Muslims by nature can't disagree on the subject of peace. We must have peace. We can't even disagree on the subject of peace, black folks. This is a must. This is a giving for the Muslims. We must have peace. For 42 years, I haven't done anything in the world but study and teach the word of God from his mouth. As it is written, we have the divine wisdom from above this world. If we made the white man, grafted him out of ourselves, then that's what happened. What can you tell us about it? There isn't a black person in this house that will give the white race any credit for nothing, even their own wickedness. We took that spark out of the germ of the black man and made a man out of it so that he would be totally weak. Anything grafted is weak and evil. This is what the God of the black man did. We know him. I know white people. I don't study his books to know him. I study him from the mouth of God. The devil himself has tried to hide up until the coming of God to show him up. He's been trying to hide until the light to come along and call him out. But if anyone should know who the devil is, for over 400 years of this treatment, you already know. But we are in a state of wanting to be accepted and be like the white man, we're in complete denial. He gave this false religion called Christianity, where we're supposed to turn the other cheek and forgive our enemies when they kill our brother, our mother, and our sisters and our babies. We turn the other cheek and say, I forgive you. We call ourselves being godly. Sound like you're being punkly to me. Kill one of mine. Think I'm gonna be sitting up there talking about I love you and forgive you. Kill my mother, if she rests in peace, she go. Ain't no way in West Hell I could rest. If it took me 40 years to get the job done, I'm on that mission. And that becomes my purpose. You got to go. I'm not turning no other damn cheek. It's just Basheer for Muhammad talking tonight on that subject, on that level. And I pray that I'll never be put to that test. Because there's something that's in us. There's things that's in us that we know that exist. I personally know. And if I turn it on, the only thing I worry about is can I turn it off? Understand? So I've seen the demonstration of the white man when he's at his utmost savagery. He's a cold-blooded killer. Well, I know that exists within me if I choose to be that way. Understand what I'm saying? The only thing I worry about by turning on full blown, well, I better shut it down. That's all. It says, this is what the God of the black man did. We know him. I know the white people. I don't study him. His books, I know him. I study him from the mouth of God. The devil himself has tried to hide up till the coming of God to show him up, as the Bible teaches him and you. The Holy Quran is more plainer and more direct, and we have it there. We know the man and are now taught utmost knowledge of the man to see if whether the God of justice is justified in destroying him today. This is why you are taught all the ins and outs of the man's very nature, so you can see that God is not doing you and me an injustice for destroying him today. All of this being manifested in your face today. All the treachery, all the trick knowledge, all the murder, all the disrespect, all the greed and the corruption is being manifested into the minds and faces of the people today. So you can see for yourself what's in front of you. I want you to remember that you're making a fool out of yourself after God has come and told us the truth of us being the first and the last, if there will be a last. We don't see through the telescope of the scientist's wisdom. We see no end to the black man. You don't know what he's made out of or how he made himself out of material that comes last. Listen, the material of darkness comes last in the absence of the light. He took that darkness, created himself out of it, which is what comes last. Thus, there would never be a last to himself. I'm very sorry for you who want to argue for the favor of this world. You are they who pity this world in exchange of a world that has no beginning and no ending. You can't calculate the hour, day, nor the year of the creation. It's impossible. There are no writers there at the time of creation because the creation had to make a writer out of himself first. It was 6 trillion years after that when writing took place. This was after his own creating. Listen, I can't be called a liar like all the others before me who were prophets and reformers of the people. I don't expect you to give me the credit, but you will grow into do that. With the knowledge of this world, you're not able to see into what I'm teaching you of a world that has no birth record, no ending to it. This is you, black people. No beginning, no ending. Understand what I'm trying to tell you? You can't create a thought that would correspond enough with the question or answer for you to grasp what I am teaching. I don't only defy your poor sisters and brothers, but I defy the scientists of this world to attack what I am teaching you and to prove that I am teaching you something false just because it is not of his world or within the scope of knowledge. I will give to any professor of the white man's world $10,000, 10,000 times 10,000 to prove one word I teach to be untrue. They have never done that. They have never said that the knowledge of the most honorable Muhammad Elijah Muhammad was not true. Everything that he taught us, they have never denied that. Only thing that they could come up with to say the black man is teaching racism. Think about that. How in the hell could you say the black man is teaching racism and you the father of it all? You brought racism and discrimination onto the planet Earth. But this is a psychological mind game that they play on their Christian brothers and sisters. You understand what I'm trying to tell you, black folks? To keep you locked in, to keep you confused. So when the true and living God show up, you gonna deny it. Because you've been taught. by the arch deceiver. You were rid by the enemy of the righteous. Therefore, since you have not come fully over to the righteous, which is your own self, you give honor and praise to what you see of the enemy and this world. I can't fault you for that as long as you're in it and don't believe in another world. However, you may wake up one day or one night and learn that Elijah Muhammad taught you the most truth than any man that ever lived. There's no man that ever lived before me that has the knowledge and the depth of truth as I have. I am not boasting. I am not proud. I will go out in the streets and sit on the curbstone with my brother. I won't boast that I am greater than him because he was created like me and has the brains like me, which came with creation. He can make his brain. He can make. I won't boast that I am greater than him because he is created like me and has the brain like me. He came with creation. He can make his brain do just what I am doing. If the will and power of the 12 God scientists who confer are with him, he can do just what I'm doing. We talk about them 12 DNA strands that's in us, that's now coming. And these 12 DNA strands are coming with these new babies that are being born. They're being born outright with it. That's what I'm talking about, is coming into your home, babies, these babies. Straight out the womb of that Asiatic black woman, that divine black woman. When a messenger is chosen, these 12 confer to see if whether or not he can do the job. He is now chosen for. The 12 God decided on all of this. We call them the 12 great science. This is why your ruler was made with 12 inches. It's after the 12 major scientists. There's 24. Without this, you cannot live. We call it a ruler when it had 12 square inches in it. I am the last scientist prophet, as you call it, but I'm not a prophet by the way of speaking. I am a messenger. The last one is not a prophet. He doesn't prophesy. Listen, if he's the last, he doesn't have anything to prophesy. He fulfilled that which others prophesied. He's the ending of prophets. Your Bible, if you go back home and search it, it reads at the end of the Old Testament where Elijah is mentioned at the end. It's your Bible. He's the end of the prophets. If I am not able to bear witness with the former prophets and their prophecy, then I am not the last. However, if I am able to bear witness with the prophets, prophecy and the prophecy is right, just and true, then I may be the last one. I have so much divine wisdom I can stand here until the same hour the next day and would not have exhausted half of it. This I'm going to leave alone. This is the message of our law. This is the message that started all that you see today going on in America amongst the black nation. And the effect is resonating now around the whole planet because people in the other countries, they know of the prophecy. They know the black man and woman are the chosen and the elect of God himself. They waiting on you and I, black people, to recognize oneself and come to life so we can take over this planet and rule on a righteous basis. But what I want to do is give you just a little bit of my tidbits tonight before I go into the deprogramming statements. You know, when it talks about divine love, divine hatred, it says divine love is reserved only for our people. Listen. And our divine hatred is reserved only for the light-skinned race. This is hatred without blinding emotions. See, the white man hates us to the depth of the core of his very bones and blood. He has emotional hatred for us. That's why it's easy for him to kill us. A very intelligent kind of hatred, such as what you mean when you say you don't give your energy to the light race woman. Listen, I know some of y'all are in trouble tonight listening to this one. That's what it means to have zero sympathy for the light-skinned race. Because you don't want to hide it. You don't want to go into this woman and create a whole another people and mix your blood with this devil and this woman. Be giving up our energy. And give him the opportunity to hide within the black nation when that destruction comes. It says, listen, black people, because I told on Yaku last week for a reason. Listen. Listen well. Yaku is the father of the black man, of the black American, and all people of slave descents. Because these people are his direct biological descendants. Did not the white man go into us and drop his seed? Did not the white man go into the process of grafting, which he knows from which he came, and he used that on us? And he made the black man hide up under the bed while he took our woman. Or when he made the black man have sex with his own mother and put a bag over his head so he couldn't see the mother that birthed him while he was forced to have sex with his own mother. Did not the white man birth children? They were the light-skinned ones. They had a very different attitude. He brought them into his homes in a lot of cases. And in some cases, he left their butt out in the field. Especially they came out dark. You know what I'm saying? And I would talk to my brother, and he would tell me about when our ancestors and grandparents, great-great-grandparents and stuff. They come right out of slavery back in the early 1900s and stuff. And my grandmother's mother had a child by a man. They was well off, he was the sheriff and stuff. But they had a baby, and the baby came out too dark. He told her, get this damn baby away from me, or I'm going to kill it. So she took the baby and left. And another man accepted her and the child, and they started a whole new family. But this, we are descendants of Yaku, just like on Pillar. Patmos, when they was making the devil. Think about these things, black people. We're not the same people that were brought here in the beginning. That's why you see a lot of Africans say, they ain't Africans. Understand? Well, I'm going to tell the Africans too, y'all ain't Africans. Y'all call yourself African, named after the Roman general, Africanus. When he renamed the whole damn country. Y'all running around here calling yourself Africans. Well, I agree with you to an extent, but that's from which we were taken. That's our home. And we shall be back. You take that and let it alone. But you're not African. Some people say, well, why do we call ourselves black? Because that's from which he was made out of, partner. Triple darkness. Understand? You say black ain't even the people. I beg the difference. We're deeper than just being the people. We are beings. direct descendants of the Creator himself. All we produce to bring forth gods on this planet. And I like what the Brill 19 Key said in one of his podcasts. I can't quote him word for word, but he was saying that, you know, when I talk to someone, I expect them to call me God. Otherwise, we could have a problem because for the simple fact, you got all these other people are giving themselves titles, transgender, the LGBTQ community, and they expect to be called by those names. Well, we're going to attach the same thing to what we decide to be called by. We say we gods, we'll call us gods. Understand? You anti-God or something? Understand? You don't call these people by what they prefer to be. You anti-homosexual. You anti-this. Understand what I'm saying? So I like that statement because that's the way it should be. Say I'm a God, then call me a God. I tell you that's who I am. It says, Yakub was the father of Black Americans and all people of slave descent, because these people are his direct biological descendants. They're not the white man, the direct biological descendants of Yakub. They came from the island of Palau, 59,999, and Yakub made the light-skinned race. Children today are being born with 12 DNA strands. Listen. And this just tidbit. Always rely on your own intuition first and last. Listen to yourself, Black people, for a change. And before I get into the deprogramming, I just want to give you a few tidbits on visualization by using numbers. And the reason I'm giving you these exercises because we got to learn how to exercise our minds so we practice visualization. Brother Fatah sent me the package. I told him to give him his vision, and he gave me his vision on this desire to see his community develop and how the things he want to go about it. We're going to get into that maybe the next week or two. But what I really want to do is we also want to develop not only locally, but for the whole planet. Our vision of what we want to see the world is like for ourselves, for the Black nation, about the mind of Black people. How we want our world to be moving forward, what we want to bring forth on it, and how we want to develop it for ourselves. But listen, it says visualization using numbers. It says every morning after you get up, take 5 minutes to multiply these numbers in your head. If you use a number like 7, you do it 7 times, or you can take the number like 23 times 5, add it up, and you can go to, you do 3 numbers, multiply it, visualize it in your head. It says you have a choice to do 7, 14, or 21 multiplications each morning before eating anything. Take a few minutes, such as 23 times 4. Close your eyes first. Write the number down, or you can just look away. And do that mathematical equation in your mind. See, with all this so-called technology now, you don't even use your brain. You give a person a phone number, they tell you, wait a minute, I got to put it in my phone. Understand? Don't even have memory. They can't even remember simple numbers anymore. You got to put it into a device, but you have to practice using your mind. Me personally, I remember anything that I decide I want to remember. Period. As if I don't remember, I just don't understand. But these are just simple exercises we can use to get our minds back functioning on a higher level so you can develop a better understanding, black people. There's also dream exercises. It says once a week for 2 weeks, record your dreams of the night before. As soon as you wake up, write it down. If you wake up in the middle of the night after a particularly clear dream, make some quick notes. Write a couple notes down what that dream, going back to sleep. Make quick notes of the major points. Then write in full detail when you get up in the morning. It's important to record the details as soon as you can because, as you know, dream memories can fade rather quickly. Do these things, black. These are very important exercises going to help you now, I'm trying to tell you. After 2 weeks, record your dreams twice a week for 2 weeks. Then 3 times a week for 2 weeks. Then after 6 weeks, go over your dreams, reliving them in as much detail as possible. You can recall all in one day. You can do it all. You can do your recall in one day, or spread them over 2 to 3 days. When you go back and go over what you have written down, and you recall those dreams, you visualize it, you practice memorization. It said, then record your feelings after you had a dream. How did you feel? Black people. Your dreams will always leave you with strong emotion, either joy, sadness, fear, dread, worry, etc. But this type of knowledge you ain't getting in the public school system. It said, don't try too hard to interpret your dreams unless the meaning is crystal clear. A lot of times you have dreams, and we don't know the meaning of it at all. You try to guess at it. The meaning of your dreams will become clear along with you record them. If you want to learn the meaning of your dreams, this is what you got to do, black people. Emotions. It says at night, write down strong feelings that you had that day, whether it's joy, anger, sadness, peace, etc. Do this for 7 days. Black folks, check it out. Briefly describe the circumstances that led to the feeling. You're going to get deep on this. Pull up all that's in you out of you. Try to do the dreams and feelings on the same day, i.e., record the feelings before going to bed. Then the dreams the following morning. Record the feelings that you had for that day, write it down. Then you do your dreams the following day. Listen carefully to the first, check this out. It says, listen carefully to the first answer that comes to your mind whenever you ask yourself a question. See, we got to learn how to ask ourselves questions. That's how you get answers. First, even if you decide not to act according to the answer, because you're going to always go get an answer when you ask yourself. You always do. It says, pay attention to it and remember it. Memorize it and record it at night with a brief description of the question you were wondering about and what you decided to do. Example. Just a brief example. What should I wear today is the question. The first answer is wear your blue pants or your blue dress, etc. today. That was the first answer. Whether you accept that answer or not, read the first answer each day for 7 days, along with the circumstances and your final decision. Record this, black people. This will help you with your thoughts, your emotions, help you develop visualization, memorization, is creating a new form of thinking, how you can process your mind, how you can pull out data, how you can tap to the one mind in the universe, understand, and receive correct knowledge. You can always get the right answer, whether you use that answer or not. Understand, help you develop your intuition better. Always, when a thought comes to you when you're in question or need an answer, follow that first mind. Make that a good practice and a good habit, black people. And moving right along, something else I want to tap on tonight. I'm gonna move to this quick tonight. They asked me to do a little bit something on soulmate. Let me just tap into a little bit what they got here. But everybody got one somewhere on this planet. But it's interesting to me on how we were before we were kidnapped and brought here to America. The science of soulmates, a short synopsis. This is what he said. I was about to explain the science of soulmates in details a year ago when I first started posting, but I was advised against it by my teacher. It would not be at all practical to try and apply this science in a Western type social environment. In a Western type social environment, meaning the white man's environment, this social climate that he has set up for us. There's a lot of things that we don't have in place to get the most out of us. But listen, it involves two aspects of ancient sciences that are totally absent in modern society. The first is that it requires the presence of what we call a magmo jetty. Might not have that pronunciation proper, but just Moamogedi. This is the person who serves the function of welcoming a new child to the world. Listen, while the child is still in the womb. In our society, we know that the spirit of an unborn child can communicate the Mago Majetis using the mother's voice, listen, while she is in a state of a trance. Mago Majeti interviews the unborn child and asks him or her, what is the purpose of his or her visit to our earth? Listen, black folks, we got this. This is the thing that we're able to do. Like I said earlier, we should talk to an unborn child before they were born. We used to create environments and knowledge so they would go into the womb of the DNA of their child. And sometimes you could talk to the baby and sometimes they'll let you know, I hear you, they'll kick, start moving around in the belly of the mother. But listen, the child using the mother's voice will normally give a cryptic answer that usually cannot be immediately decoded. It normally comes in the form of a parable. The person in charge, as well as the relative, takes note of it and remembers it until it's fulfilled. The fulfillment of the message usually comes when another child becomes involved in a situation that clarifies the message in a way that is absolutely beyond question. This can happen with a child in the same village, even for a week. When it happens in the same village, it is easy. It is an easy matter to decode it because the whole village knows about the parable involving each and every newborn. As you can see, This requires the unity of the community. That's why we got to get our communities, brothers and sisters. We don't have no community right now. We got some hoods, some neighborhoods, but we don't have communities set up like villages where we all in the know, we all communicate and want for our brothers and sisters what we want for ourselves. To have that spiritual connection, have that ancestral knowledge. We have all these rituals and rites and passages and things of this matter to teach. Child development, mental development, character development, knowing what your purpose is when that child is born, what their purpose, so we can help guide them on that road. They're like when I taught on Yaku, they knew 44,000 years before he was born, and when he was born, what his destiny was, what his purpose was. You understand? And they made sure that no one interfered with that. So let me get back to it. When it happens in the same village, it's an easy matter to decode it because the whole village knows about the parable involving each and every newborn. As you can see, this requires a unity in the community spirit that is not to be found in modern society. We don't have that. If the situation takes place in a faraway village when the message has not yet reached, then obviously the people of that village would not be able to decode it. And at that point, they would start a widespread search consulting the magma deity in all the villages, because each village had a magma deity. See if they can find help with the meaning of the event. This may take a few seasons, but ultimately, the right child was found who was the fulfillment of the parable. We talk about soulmates. Then the second aspect comes into play, which has to do with the true and ancient astrology. Listen, the ancients always noted the story and planetary alignment of the conception of each child. As a matter of fact, the parents consulted authorities, the Dingakas, who were expert astrologers, before conceiving a child. The Dingakas advised them concerning what time would be appropriate for them to conceive, given their purpose in life and the purpose of the child they plan to bring into the world. True astrologers are able to find these things out for each couple. But in our society, in most cases, we don't plan birth. Okay, we just laying down having a good time and up for the child. You understand? But we're not doing it to bring God into the planet. We're doing it to have a good time. We don't have consultants and say this would be the best time to conceive a child. So I remember when we had most of our children, so we all had a purpose in mind for each one according to their name that we gave them. And you can see one of the difference. I just used 19 keys because his part of his job was to come to the world and bring a message, like the real the angel to the people. Some of our children have such powerful names, which are attributes. And as they're growing up, now some of them, especially my son, some of them had a hard time developing into their names because they're so powerful. And after a while, I just let the mother name the children. She gave it to Mary. I said, yeah. I said, but you gave these children very, very powerful names. You know what you're putting on. You know what they're going to have to try to live up to. These powerful names that you took out the Quran, sister, and some of our children had difficulties growing into themselves. But now they have overcome most of the difficulties, starting to level out, starting to find that balance now. Now they're coming into their own, coming to themselves. Just now coming into that first stage of completion. They're going to be some very, very, very powerful beings. in our universe and great helpmates to the Mahdi, Allah, God Himself. You understand what I'm trying to tell you, black folks? Know how to bring life onto the planet. Not the way the Caucasian showed you, but the godlike way. You want to have a child, already have an aim and a purpose in your mind. What you want to bring onto this planet. And you set that environment to make it conducive to conceiving a child. And once it's conceived, the environment on the outside of the womb must be set up a certain way. Peace and harmony, creativity, even the music and the sound that you have in that environment. You got to keep the woman mind at peace. You got to keep her spirit at ease. You understand what I'm trying to say, black folks? And you have to go to environments that's creative and righteous. Take them into learning environments. You have to take your woman, if you're able, on the trips. You also have to learn how to ignore sometimes when she goes through those changes, those mental changes. So she develops a whole new being in her body. And she'll get angry, or she'll just have emotional outbursts, or she can look at you and might cuss you out, bro. But you can't react to that at all. You got to respond back with kindness. Sometimes you got to give them that space. And also you got to make sure you got the right diet. The only thing you eat is live animals, live food. You understand what I'm trying to say? When you go to meeting, you go in a spiritual meeting, the teaching knowledge of God and self. This is how you start producing the gods in the room before they even get here. But let me go on. It says, now this is the most crucial of the two aspects because your soulmates are always born with the heavenly alignments, complement each other at the time of their conception. In other words, let us say a boy is conceived when the alignments are in a particular way. His soulmate will be conceived only when the heavenly bodies reach another alignment that is complementary to the first. This may occur within a few days of the boy's conception or after some years. The science of complementary astrological alignment is so involved that I was advised not to go into details to try and explain it. So the science of soulmates requires that these two aspects in order determined with 100% accuracy. But let me add that once the two people are brought together, listen, this is how you know. In our society, once the two people are brought together, accuracy is confirmed by their feelings toward each other. They truly love each other, even as young children. This genuine love is always there, and it happens even when soulmates find each other by chance. So even without the science that are many people who fall, there are many people who fall in love, discover that they are soulmates. Was not Mary and Joseph soulmates? Huh? Listen, black folks. See, we've been taught wrong. That's what I'm trying to tell you. People that go to school is not educated. They don't have knowledge, none of this knowledge. They really don't know how to come out and really take care of themselves. They don't even know how to feed themselves. They don't really know how to heal themselves. Well, what is school for? To train you up for a job. But this is the knowledge that we need as a people to get back on that right path of understanding. get back into ourselves, how to access the power within, not without, but that which exists within, how to sharpen up the mind, how to bring in visualization, how to develop our thoughts, how to control our emotions, to understand what thoughts are, of vibrations. Everything that you see in front of you that appears to be solid has a vibrational aspect that we connect within the mind, the seen, and the unseen. This is heavy, heavy knowledge. And Mr. Carson, that Brill brought on 19 keys, he touches on this a little bit. That's why he is so well liked by a lot of people, because he expands the thought process. But it says, however, the best way in this age for people in modern society is to get in touch with the inner self. This is the best way for us in America. Even when you consult guides and diviners, always rely on your own what? Your intuition first and last. So we got this within us, brothers and sisters. We just have to reawaken all of these things within us. We've been dealing with the outside too damn long, with that mystery God and the white man's knowledge. But let me go to the main part of my subject, then I'm going to wrap you up. This is how we're going to deprogram ourselves from the mind of the Caucasian. Get a hit of this good lemonade and ginger. But I would always talk to, we can give I can give you the problem. What's the solution, brother? How do I solve this problem? For every problem, there's always an answer. It's always there. For the black man and woman and black families, this is how we start to get our minds back, to come into clear understanding of the time we're living in, how we can make that mental change. And it's so important because you got gods coming in now. You got to raise your understanding to a God-like level. And I would say this too, black people. Whatever you do it right in the sack. If you mop a floor, when you get through and you look at it, you say, is this the way God would do it? If I wax and shine that floor, then it should be looking like God got through with it. When we used to mop that bakery floor at night, we had that steel gray floor, and we'd have a contest. When we got through mopping that big floor, the hot water and soda, then we'd come back with some hot water and wipe it down, and that floor would just shine. You understand? Looked like God had came and did it himself. We took pride in that. The brother had that floor all streaky and cloudy looking. Looked like God came through on this one, brother. You understand? You get called on a little bit. But these are the ways black men should start thinking. Whatever we do it like God would do it. You understand what I'm trying to say, black folks? But this is a 24 deprogramming statements. How to deprogram your mind from the matrix of the Caucasian. Now I want you to listen to this. It says, And he said you should read the 24 deprogramming statements below. Set aside 7 consecutive nights to read them for 7 straight nights without missing a night. See, 7 is the number of completion. The first one is I am black. 2, the original gods are black men and women. Listen. First of all, I'm black, and the original gods are black men and women. And the descendant of the original gods, as you are. My ancestors are the creators of the universe. They created the earth, moon, and stars. And that's an actual fact. Those are your ancestors. When y'all talking about your ancestors, do you know who you're really talking about? Oh, y'all go back with your ancestors back in slavery. No. I'm talking about your ancestors that created the sun, moon, and stars, black people. They're the ones I'm tapping into. Listen. They made the non-black races out of their recessive germ. They gave the non-black races power to rule the earth for 6,000 years. We gave them that power. We made them. The non-black races forced my people into slavery to build their evil and immoral civilization. Now, is it not immoral? Everything goes today, does it not? Y'all say y'all have the freedom to do what you please. You have taken God out the equation, but you go to church every Sunday. They're teaching everything that God say don't do in most churches today. Under the name of religion. The time to rule the earth is now over. Their civilization will fall in my own lifetime. Yes, it will. Number 9. My ancestors built magnificent cities. They built great pyramids and large temples that stood for thousands of years with granite walls and marble floors, decorated with silver and gold and precious gemstones. Their descendants will build more majestic cities for my people. This is coming. I am one of the 144,000 black people who will be the new rulers of the earth. That's number 10. Say that to yourself. I am one of the 144,000 black people who will be the new rulers of the earth. We'll make, listen now, we'll make the non-black races our servants. We will instruct them on how to clean their physical and mental pollution and restore the earth's natural balance. Yes, we will. We'll make them our servants and teach them for a change. How to clear up all that pollution within themselves and on our planet. Clean it up. You brought it in. We're going to make you clean it up. Say our servants. You know y'all don't want to hear this. I'm going to give it to you anyway. That's number 11. We'll start a new civilization based on good morality. We will rule the earth with a clear mind and a good heart, according to the natural law of the original gods. We're going to follow the natural law, not man-made law that we forced to follow, and if we don't follow, we penalize. But you don't worry about the penalty of a law, do you? You don't worry about this natural law. You put man's law over a law. The made man. You got your skill. It says black people, number 13, are casually being or casual beings. Non-blacks are symptomatic beings. Black people can see the true cause of things, whereas non-blacks see only the symptoms. And that is so true because I always like to know the cause. Because I figure if I learn the cause, I can come up with a solution. They're like, if you got an illness, you want to know really what caused all of this. So that I can figure out what caused it, I might be able to come up with a solution to curing it. All the white man do is treat you with more poison, be treating the symptoms. They never deal with the cause. They only deal with the effect. This is why so many people die left and right. But we're going to come up with a better solution. Black people are casual beings. Non-blacks are symptomatic beings. Black people can see the true cause of things, whereas non-blacks see only the symptoms. 14. Black people cure illness and problems by preventing the cause. Check it out. Non-blacks alleviate illness and problems by treating the symptom. You have witnessed this, you have experienced all of this. I might want to elaborate on that part no more. It says the God of the non-black people race, the God of the non-black people race is greed, that doubt. If they're not stopped, they will go to any extreme to satisfy this God. Even to the extreme of destroying the earth and all life on it. That's what you're witnessing today. With all the pollution, all the oil spill, all the nuclear waste, all the plastic, and all the chemicals in the food, all the chemicals in the water. Hell, you can't even go get a drink of water now. A good, pure, unadulterated glass of water. You got to go and hope for the best and get your damn so-called bottled water. You don't really know what this crap is. You know, we used to have a spring. We'd go out to the country. We call it Rocky Fork. There's this good, beautiful, this water just come up through the earth, through the rocks. Nice, cold, man. It had a taste that you can't even describe. You understand? Now it's all dried up. It don't even exist anymore. And, shut that off, cut off the well springs and all of that, and destroy it all up. Because they worship greed. The economic system is based on its satisfaction. That the political, legal, and religious system are used to protect their economy, economic system. Their religion, their political, legal, and religious system are used to protect their economic system so they can better pursue their God who is insatiable. Don't never get enough. They got billions and billions of dollars and still want more. Got 15 pallets of while people sleeping on the streets. Greed. They have no regard for human life and other life if it stands in the way of satisfying their greed, which is like a bottomless pit. Is it not? This is what you're seeing all over the world now. This is what you're seeing in the minds of the rulers of the planet. Greed. A black man's greed and suffering is a white man's gain. The dollar becomes before the human being. All the corrupt government leading and got the people up under their dictate. This is all they have. Greed and power and control. They control the masses of the people and keep their morality from coming to the top and becoming a force on the planet. They keep you in that low life. That's why all your platforms, all they teach you low life, niggardly behavior. You understand? Nothing that's going to elevate your mind and your understanding. And the only thing that they got out there that a lot of people are really trying to emulate now, and we'll start to emulate, is high level conversation. When you get through listening to 19 Keys conversation in the program and the people that we have on there, you can leave with something that's going to elevate your thought and your thinking process. It'll bring you to the better light of understanding. Not that niggly stuff, not that low life stuff, where you never think about growing and developing the inner self. All you want to do is niggly stuff and think it's cool to be a nigger. Think it's cool to call yourself one. But let me go on. 16, because they worship greed. The economic system is based on dissatisfaction. Their political, legal, religious system are used to protect their economic system so they can better pursue their God, who is insatiable. They have no regard for human life and other life if it stands in the way of satisfying their greed, which is like a bottomless pit. 19. When the damage caused by their economic system becomes obvious to all, which we all know now, they cover it up by treating the symptoms while continuing the action that caused the damage. Listen, their medical system is a clear example of their symptomatic nature. They put poison-like processed sugar in foods, chemicals in soil and water, and smog in the air, not to mention noise pollution and mental pollution due to their perversion. When the inevitable illnesses come, they cure them by describing other poison to treat the symptoms while they continue to pour more poison into the system. That's why you got so many people, man, that die of cancer. Then they treat the symptoms with some more poison. I don't even know how people make it through when they have cancer. When they hit you with that radiation, you come totally sick, destroying the cells, and it's just a miracle to me that people come through it. The way they treat, they had some type of new pill they come out. I think it was for treating. The Japanese came out with it, and it's supposed to help in certain stages of Alzheimer's. It's not a cure, but the side effects with swelling and bleeding of the brain. But damn, it's the side effects is, hell, I'd rather not really remember some stuff. If that be the case, hell, my brain gonna swell up from this pill that they gave me and it's gonna cause bleeding. I mean, how could that be a help? How is that gonna help you when the side effects gonna be worse than the symptoms? Right, let me call you back. I'm in the middle of the podcast right now. '21. This behavior is driven by their great greed. It is the quickest way to make money. They use the money to try and fill the bottomless pit in them, which is slowly but surely consuming them. Money is energy. Money that is used for the satisfaction of greed is energy wasted in the vicious and the destructive cycle. This cycle of destruction destroys not only the worshippers of greed, but black people also. Is it not? This greed on the planet Earth that we got jumping off today, black people done joined on with this. We murdering and maiming one another over things, over turf, over territory, over the bag, took up on the same characteristics. And this man is not going down without a fight. Some of our people have already put themselves in the grave by following the way of the Caucasian. We become very immoral. We lack the true knowledge of self. We don't have the fathers in the home anymore, and you can see the cause and effect of that. The black man walked away from his family. It took his ability to care for his family. It took the ability for the black man, the God of the universe, to be respected by his own. Stuck on the very, very bottom. Don't know what to do. And you see the effect on our children that don't have a father. You see all the shortcomings from our sons to our girls, because that guiding light, that wisdom, that knowledge, that understanding, that discipline, that self-control, that example on how to get the job done, that example how you do things, how you work, how you meet challenges, how you deal with challenges, how you deal with disappointments. The example of being consistent in the home. That male energy, that kindness, that tenderness, that wisdom. All these things that the father brings on how to make proper decisions have been taken out the black nation. And as a result, you see the devastation. In particular, when the father has to die of himself and who the true and living God is. How you solve problems. Even how you create and bring new things into existence. Give the wisdom of the moon, sun, and stars. All of that is missing in the black nation. Black people. Mothers are doing the best they can. But they can only do the best they can up to a certain age as it relates to their children. Their sons and their daughters. You understand? Because the father's been taken out of the home. Now they're stripping down our woman and made her into an object. And the only thing she thinks she possesses of any value is her looks. One of the most important beings on our planet is that black woman. And she's been reduced down herself. In a lot of cases, you don't even want children anymore. In a lot of cases, you don't even have the knowledge of how to raise them to be upright at all. Because that guide to keep that balance is out the home. Black folks. These deprogramming statements are keys to getting ourselves back in order. Our tidbits on visualization, emotion, and thoughts. And how to reprogram yourself. And how to follow that God-like mind that exists within all of us. To tap back into your power. Where you can get back control over your thoughts and your emotions. How to raise our children according to their nature, not the way of the Caucasian. Get up under God's law. Take over time, black people. Listen. Only the cashew beans, black people, can prevent this impending disaster. We will uproot the cause of the problem. We will uproot the cause of the problem, not just treat the symptoms. The cause of all the world's problem is the rulership of the non-black. The cause of all the world's problem is the rulership of the non-black. Look at it. They're the cause of it all. All the problems and devastation that's on the earth today, it ain't caused by us. Sometimes they put a house nigga that I call them, the rule in these other countries that look like you and I, because they've been cultivated and take on the same immorality as the white man. And what they do, they prime them. They teach them how to become greedy like them. Your lust of greed and power is more greater than the people. You say the people are expendable, but the dollar is recoverable. The hell with the people. You understand? So the hell with the people, that means God, that means the devil over the people. He got that same like mentality. That's why the world is in the flux. That's why all of these dictators, that's why all of this unjust leadership, that's why none of them, not a one, is able to teach divine unity at all. It ain't in them. But when they kick the can over on one another, who they expect to go fight they messed up wars? One that they've been having on the bottom all these years. Disrespecting, calling niggas left and right in the government of America, where they want you to go and pick up arms. The so-called Uncle Sam. A lot of you will willingly go because a lot of you are very, very patriotic because that's the way you were brought up. You understand? And put your life on the line for America. But what you get in return, veterans? Take you 4 months to get an appointment to go to the VA. You get poor treatment. You get that little check that they give you from the retirement if you stay in the military that long. Most of my brothers and sisters come back messed up. But let me wrap this up. It says, we in this group are part of 144,000 black people who will rule the earth. All the world's problems and illness will end when we take over rulership. We did it right back. We in this group are part of 144,000 black people who will rule, take over rulership, and remove the non-blacks from the face of the earth and the face of the universe. This is what's coming. This is what's coming to our planet very, very shortly. We shall rule again. I'm just telling you what God says. You don't have to like it at all. It matters to me. For all the non-blacks shall be removed from the face of this planet and the universe. Once this world is set down, this man is set down, there will be some that will live up to 1,000 years. But they eventually will disappear from the face of the planet. Just the bottom line, black people. We will take it and let that alone. But I suggest all you brothers and sisters call yourselves so religious, read your books. Just tell you what's in there, what's coming. There will be a new beginning for the black man and woman, a new birth, a new cleansing, and you will start to receive that divine power. The mind of creation will come back into the original people on this planet. We will teach and train the whole planet to stand on the side of the Most High, God Himself, to be in charge of this day and time. We're bringing our own world. We'll put the lights out of the Caucasian world, and that mind got to die. It won't be dollar over life. It'll be life above all things. Greed, hunger, suffering, and death. The pollution of our planet will cease immediately. That's why we got to have a new mind, black people. You're the one chosen by God Himself. And I got to tell you like it is. I got to tell you who you are. What your purpose as a whole collectively for the black man, woman, and child in America, that's our job. We are God-chosen people. And you want to sit up and tell me, well, I love everybody. Hell, don't everybody love you? That don't even make sense. That ain't even mathematics. Understand what I'm trying to tell you? These people don't give a damn about you. But they done taught you to love Him, but all the crap He done to you. Now, I respect everybody. I treat everybody with respect. Under Elijah Muhammad said, respect those in authority, whether they respect you or not. Understand what I'm trying to tell you, black folks? But it's take over time. It's time for that Asiatic black man and woman and child to raise up now and take our planet back. But first, we got to take our minds back. And once we get it back, we got to learn how to use it in this proper manner. You have never been taught to use your mind at all. Only thing the white man gives you is toxins to keep your mind from functioning at its optimum level. Now, all of this is done on purpose. Like I said, they put in all this poison in our food, chemicals, everything. And what is that done for? To maximize the dollar. Greed. Gotta go, gotta go. So, that's all I want to give you tonight, black people. On this subject matter, learn how to deprogram and get this stuff up out your mind and come into your God-left like self. Be gods. We are gods. Everybody that had a child, look at your babies. Tell me you don't see something special in it. Be the best example that you can be. Of course, we have our shortcomings. If you slip, get your butt back up. If you slip a second time, get your butt back up. That don't mean God ain't with you. Slip a third time, get up. Keep trying, never give up. It's our time to rise now. It's in your nature to come to the top, black people, where you belong. Take over time. Black man, strive, brothers. Fight hard within oneself to overcome all shortcomings. Each one teach one. If you see your brother or your sister falling, brother, reach down, give him a hand, pull him back up. Don't be the one that just talk about him. No, you be that helper of Allah and receive your blessings. This is what this divine unity is all about. When we see one another in a certain light, we know if we connect those minds up, we become a force. And we can bring into existence through the power of thought. Understand what I'm trying to say? And manifest whatever we decide good, it is. Understand, black people? The power is up here. The power is knowing oneself is the key. The power is in the families. God, man, woman, and children in that order. The power is in the families. Bringing that divine unity in the homes. Black man. We might suffer a little bit, don't despair. It's our time now. We want to create and develop a future for our children and our grandbabies. And don't forget to teach them what you know of good. Understand, black folks? That's your responsibility. So I thank you all for coming in tonight, and I pray that I was able to give you something that you can sleep on tonight. But remember what I told you about your brain, thoughts, and your emotions. Use that exercise and see if it helps. And I know it will. I use it. And I like to say, all praise due to Allah, the raise up in our midst, divine leader, teaching spiritual guide, the person most honorable, humble life, Muhammad. I'd like to thank all of you that have tuned in. Stay strong, stay black, stay creative, black people. Stay on your square. Knock out trouble. Fight hard. Be willing to die for what's right. So walk by, walk by. You know me, I like to always close out with Muhammad. I say Muhammad's got the devil on the run. That's right. Run, devil, run. Up, 2, 3, 4. Allahu Akbar. That's why I close out my prayer. When I pray, I salute Allah. I bring this sword down at the same time. I'm chopping off the head of the devil. So thank you, black people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum. Good night.